Now, how much does a China sourcing agent cost? A China sourcing agent will charge you a commission fee based on the cost of your order, and typically the percentage charge decreases as your order size increases. For example, here are the fees for Jing Sourcing, which is a sourcing company that I've used in the past. Anything below $1,000, you get charged $100. Anything that's under 10K, you get charged about 7.5%, and then anything over 30K, you get charged a 5% commission. Now, after you place your first order, all future orders must be placed with your sourcing agent. Now, how much does a China sourcing agent cost? A China sourcing agent will charge you a commission fee based on the cost of your order, and typically the percentage charge decreases as your order size increases. For example, here are the fees for Jing Sourcing, which is a sourcing company that I've used in the past. Anything below $1,000, you get charged $100. Anything that's under 10K, you get charged about 7.5%, and then anything over 30K, you get charged a 5% commission. Now, after you place your first order, all future orders must be placed with your sourcing agent, and in general, it is frowned upon to work with the factory directly and bypass your agent unless special terms are negotiated up front. In fact, most factories will not do business with you without your agent. Now, some China sourcing agents will hide the factory information from you altogether, and most service companies won't reveal the name of your factory either. Now, a 5 to 10% sourcing fee may sound significant at first, but the amount of time and headache a sourcing agent can save you can be well worth the money. Now, if you decide to go the sourcing agent route, here are the questions to ask. And it's important to ask the right questions before hiring them. So, what are your payment terms? Is there a deposit involved, and when does the sourcing agent get paid? Some agents require upfront payment, whereas others will allow you to pay when the products are ready to be shipped. How is quality control handled? Does the agent offer inspection services, or are they outsourced to a third party? Will they visit the factory to ensure that ethical production practices are followed? And how are the inspection reports delivered? Now, do they have referrals from happy customers? Make sure you ask for referrals from clients in your home country. How often are production updates given? You should have a direct way of contacting your sourcing agent through a messaging app like WeChat or WhatsApp. And are there any guarantees for late shipments or poor quality goods? Because no production run ever goes perfectly smooth, and it's important to have contingency plans in place. Where's your sourcing agent located? In general, it's better to use an agent that lives close to your factory. Different regions in China specialize in different types of goods. And then finally, you want to ask what their fees are. Every sourcing agent offers a different fee structure. Make sure you negotiate favorable terms if you decide to use their services in the long term. Now, aside from these questions, make sure that your sourcing agent is responsive and can speak your native language fluently. Now, if you experience any communication problems now, then it's only going to get worse once your products are in production. Now, here are the pros and cons of using a China sourcing agent as opposed to finding your own suppliers via Alibaba or going to the Canton Fair. So let's start with the pros. It saves you time. A China sourcing agent already has an established Rolodex of pre-vetted manufacturers for your review, and Alibaba is filled with tire kickers and middlemen, and a sourcing agent can help you quickly weed through the junk. There's great communication. A China sourcing agent speaks English and Chinese fluently. As a result, your agent can facilitate communication between you and your factory, and in some cases, you won't even have to communicate with your supplier at all. The production process will be smooth. A China sourcing agent has experience sourcing products and typically has procedures in place. And if you're new to e-commerce, your agent can teach you the right way to source products for sale. You tend to get better quality control. A good sourcing agent has in-house staff or inspection agencies at their disposal to make sure your products are made without defects, and you should never trust the factory. And then finally, there's accessibility. When things go wrong, a China sourcing agent can help fix the problem directly by just going to the factory. Sometimes email and texting just isn't good enough. Now, here are the downsides to using a China sourcing agent. The extra cost may eat into your margins. Now, they're going to charge you a percentage of your goods. This is essentially a royalty that you'll have to pay for as long as you use that factory. There's also a single point of failure. If your sourcing agent decides to quit or ghost you, you may lose your supplier altogether. Sometimes there's back-end deals. Now, because sourcing agents are paid based on order size, they may be incentivized to work with certain factories that provide special incentives or kickbacks. Now, ultimately, the million-dollar question is using a China sourcing agent worth it? Well, if you're new to e-commerce and you're having problems finding a reliable supplier to produce your goods, then hiring an agent is an excellent option. The amount of time that a quality sourcing agent can save you is well worth the money, and in addition, they live in China and can visit your factories in person should problems arise. However, you should hire a China sourcing agent only after you've made an attempt to find your own factories. Services like Alibaba and Global Sources have made it extremely easy to find reliable suppliers online. And if you have the means, attending trade shows like the Canton Fair or Global Sources are invaluable for meeting suppliers face to face. Now, for our e-commerce business, we tend to use sourcing agents when we are in a pinch. So, for example, this past holiday season, our suppliers experienced production delays, which meant that our products would not arrive in time for the holiday season. So, as a result, we use a sourcing agent to quickly find a new factory to produce our products. Now, the main question you must ask yourself is whether you can afford to sacrifice your time for money. Finding your own suppliers generally takes more time and effort that you could be spending on other parts of your business.